Today on This Week in Startups, you've got questions. Tyler and I have answers. All that and more on an All Ask Jason and Tyler marathon.
That's what it's all about, man. They said money is the root of all evil. What? Funny how it feeds my people. We ain't gonna live like equals until we get the money, spend the money, and defeat you. Yeah, money is the root of all evil. What? Funny how it feeds my people. Yeah, we ain't gonna live like equals until we get the money, spend the money, and defeat you.
Hello everybody, hello everybody. It's episode number 104. Yes, 104. I actually went to PS. Sure? I went to PS 104 in Brooklyn. That's where I had my first school. What's that?
You sure it's 104?
Yeah, 104. It says right here on the show notes. 104. 104.
Okay.
If it's not, they'll change it in post-production. We have the CGI and all that stuff here.
Hollywood.
The magic of Hollywood. So today we wanted to do, we get backed up. We probably get 50 people a week who want to do an Ask Jason. Sure. We get backed up. We flip-flop back and forth. Shark Tank, Ask Jason. And then we just say, let's just do a show, All Ask Jason,
right.
And get it out of the way. This way people can get the help they need. And if you need help with your email...
Speaking of getting the help you need.
Speaking of getting the help you need, if you need help with your email, MailChimp, it's free to sign up and see how beautiful this product is. And I'm going to tell you right now, even if you're not...
You know what I love? I'm just going to pause.
Pause.
You know what I'm liking about MailChimp?
What?
We're up to... There's been over a dozen shows now or whatever. Every time you have an actual, genuine, honest, sincere... positive new thing that you like about MailChimp.
Yeah, I just find something new.
I'm actually curious to hear what is new and exciting about MailChimp this week.
I know, it is actually.
Yeah.
But let me just tell you right off the bat that you should sign up for free right now because it's free for under 1,000 people. Mm-hmm. So just go in and check it out. If you're building a product, like if you're thinking about applying to launch, if you're thinking about it going to Y Combinator, go in there and test it, just even if you're emailing yourself and seeing how a really great product is designed and how they have just such an amazing amount of features.
Right.
I mean, it's a world-class product.
Right.
And I'm coming from the world of like listserv and open source products, and then I get into this, and it's like, wow, this is like the Rolls Royce of. It's like Audi. They're like the Audi of.
You said something very. You kind of said it very passingly, but I think it's very the tall tale sign is how when somebody didn't get an email, like your email, they're on your list and they didn't get it.
Yeah.
And you just let MailChimp know, and they actually went in and took the time to kind of find.
They doing the hard work.
Right, but that level of detail and obsessiveness
tweaking
about the minor details,
yes,
is indicative of
a great overall philosophy and product. God is in the details.
Yes.
That's absolutely right. And you can get involved with the MailChimp guys. I'll tell you the thing that I'm really crazy about is the clout feature where I can check people's clout scores. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just love that because I can see people who are really influential on my list and then, make sure I'm following them on Twitter. But MailChimp has announced a $1 million integration fund, just like Y Combinator or Techstars. They're accepting applications from anyone interested in building an integration on the MailChimp platform. So you can go in there and build some glue between your product, another product. Maybe you want to make something for real estate agents who, want to leverage email, but they don't know how to, and maybe even MailChimp's too complicated for the average real estate broker. I mean, these people are not, I don't want to say anything bad about real estate brokers, but let's face it, they're not the most technical people in the world.
Right. They
have lunches to go to, they're on the road. Maybe you make some sort of easy mailing list software just for real estate brokers. You get the idea.
That'd be huge.
That one idea could be $1 million idea. Yeah. And MailChimp will make it all possible. They'll pay you to make this, and they'll take no equity because they're trying to get people.
What a ripoff.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Who do these people think they are giving away this free money? Yeah. So anyway, they're doing it for a reason. They want people to see how elegant the product is. They want people to see how easy it is to use their API and leverage all this great technology and feature set they have. Oh, God, I love MailChimp. Thank you to MailChimp for supporting the program and being one of my biggest supporters of late. Really beautiful product, and I love it so much. Okay, so we have Jonas on the line. He's calling from the 347. Jonas, are you there?
Yes, hi, Jason.
How you doing? You're calling with a
hi.
Oh, wait. Oh.
It's Davey, actually.
Hold on, someone's trying to call in.
Hold on, I got another caller on the line. It's Ask Jason. Yes, okay. So tell me your name again.
It's Davey.
Oh, Davey. Davey,
yes.
You're calling from the 347, correct?
We're calling from Belgium, actually.
Oh, okay. I have no
think
idea what phone number this
Country
is.
code 34.
Yes, country code
Oh,
Belgium.
country
I
code
got it.
34. Thank you, Tyler. Tyler, international man of mystery. You're calling from Belgium.
I've had the beers. I had the French fries. Were unbelievable.
Oh, the French
With
fry.
the mayonnaise and the cone. Oh,
yes,
God.
with the malt.
Yes, Belgian fries.
The malt vinegar.
Yes.
Delish. Okay, so you have a question for us. Let's hear it.
Yes, so we built this website called limebooth.com. And limebooth.com is a social network, but exclusively for musicians and dancers. Now, because we're exclusive, and in order to get enough users, we wanted to know if we need to make this a worldwide project from the start. Because is it better to start in one country and to go country after country, or is it better to immediately go worldwide with your project? So that's basically the
Okay,
question.
so your question is, I have a vertical social network for artists. And should I start it locally in my country, or should I make it global? This is an excellent question. I get it all the time. What you should do is you should think global, right? But you should act local. And what I mean by this is you should code globally. You should make sure you're prepared to do multi-language when you build the code.
Yeah.
But
well, we built in English to make sure.
Perfect.
To already go.
Now what you want to do, though, is you want to build critical mass in one location. Not only a country, but a city. This is the Yelp style of building a business that everybody is copying, including Lior from Hotpot was on the program talking about how Google, with their local
Yes, yes, I've
product,
seen that.
Episode
was
100.
episode 100. People are very much focused on launching in one city and doing it really well. And when you do that and you have credibility, then you go to the next city. In fact, Foursquare,
They're focused on Portland, for an
they're on
example.
Portland,
And that's
as they-
Google.
And that's Google. And they have
Our
some resources.
problem-
They have some resources. And Foursquare, in fact, one of the big digs to Foursquare in the beginning was you couldn't use it
Right.
in Texas.
Great problem to have.
Yeah, you're like, oh my God, you can only use it in New York and San Francisco. And then like, yeah, New York, San Francisco. Oh, now it's in LA. So basically, it built up some scarcity,
Facebook
some
did the same
demand.
thing.
Facebook did the same thing. So there is a long tradition in false scarcity, building up scarcity, building up anticipation, and blowing it out and focusing on one region and solving that problem. If you cannot solve the problem in one city, what makes you think you can do it on a global basis? So yes, work in one city, focus the entire site and the user interface around that city in the beginning. So your homepage.
The problem is mainly because there aren't enough artists just for in this particular city. So we need to
Yeah, but you-
find ways
Okay, so then
to
you go up
find
to
more
country.
artists because it's in this vertical. It's not
But
easy to find enough
you
users
don't have
in
to
one
do
city.
it in your city. Doesn't have to be Belgium. It could be Los Angeles.
That's true.
okay.
It could be any city. That's right.
And I would potentially even focus on when you're saying music, like Musicians Institute. There's a college of music here in Los Angeles called Musicians Institute. And there's also the Berkeley in Boston, and you know.
Yeah, so getting affiliated where there's an existing community that you
Right.
can tap into.
If you can,
Well, that's the point because we here in Belgium we have music schools we can contact, but in Los Angeles it's harder to contact people.
yeah, so
like
I think
that.
what Tyler's trying to tell you is find a community that exists, meet 10 members of that community, and now you've met maybe 10,000 or 1,000 or however large that community is. And they will become your advocates. They'll become your evangelists. You can only build a business so fast and so far on one person's reputation. In fact, you have celebrities all the time who try to launch social networks, they try to launch blogs, and everybody thinks they're going to build the new next Perez Hilton, gossip blog, Tilla Tequila, all these different celebrities have tried to make their own competing blog. Their celebrity can't carry it, and those people have lots of followers. So you really, really need to build a community, and the simplest way to do it, have drinks with them. Have coffee, have a meetup. Every time Tyler and I go to a city, Tyler sets up coffee and breakfast for us 2 or 3 mornings in a row. And we tell people, we're having a blogger breakfast this morning. We're having this breakfast. Can I come? Yes, of course you can come. It's Dutch. Dutch is a word that means everybody pays for themselves. You understand?
I didn't know that.
Yes, that's what they named the country after.
Yeah.
People, the Dutch
did.
people, were named after this tradition of. They were very. They were also very stingy, the Dutch, and so they named them after
But
the
that's-
going Dutch.
Yeah.
Correct, Tyler?
no.
Oh, okay. We'll look that up on Wikipedia
Well, the
later.
Dutch are, but the Belgians are a bit different. But
Okay. continued success with Lime Booth. It's a
Thank you
good-looking
very much.
site.
Big fan
I
of
like
the show, Jay.
Oh, well, thank you very much. It's great of you to say. And Lime Booth, good-looking site, good-looking name. I like it, actually. I don't know why I like the name Lime Booth, but I like
Well, we
it.
wanted to know what you think of the domain name, actually. Because
For some reason, I like it. Something about, I don't know. It flows off the tongue, and I'm thinking of a phone booth that's Lime, which I don't know what that means.
I think
it's
I know.
from limelight, like be
Yeah.
in the limelight, and then
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lime
okay.
Booth,
I like it then. So you go into this booth, and like Superman, you come out, and you're in the limelight. I like it.
yeah, something. It's like the booth to be in the spotlight.
I love it. I love it. It's
It's like open stage.
yeah, open mic, whatever. Yeah, good.
Yes,
I like it.
exactly.
It's a good idea, and artists, it's a collaborative thing, and artists are very insecure sometimes. Is my work good or whatever? And you want to
Yes,
network with
exactly.
people. It's a very important thing, community for artists. And so what you have to do is make sure you listen to your community and you tailor it, and that people don't feel alone and they feel supported. So high touch is going to be the thing you're going to want to do. And if you have two services providing the same exact offering, and one of them has breakfast with their members every month, or cocktails, or does a showcase, and one of them doesn't, which one do you think is going to get bigger? Obviously, the one that does the offline activities. So that's why I do conferences. So good question, and good luck with it, Davey.
Thanks a lot, Jason.
Cheers now.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
good. Next we have on the line Brent, and Brent is calling from the 415. My guys are going to take a minute to get Brent on the line.
So the point there is, like, when you get into that community, and it's a spectrum of how much the feedback you get from them, and ideally you want to get it to a point where they themselves are asked, they think your solution is so hot that they want to invest in it.
Yeah.
Because you're solving such a problem and making their life so much easier or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a rare instance where you're solving that big of a problem, but,
Right.
I mean, cater
That
to
they're
them.
willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? As we learned from Phil on Evernote a couple episodes ago, 101 I think it was, people will pay just because they say, I want to support you. I just want to pay, and that's a very powerful driver too. People realize that these free services will grow quick. I had this. I'm on the board of advisors of Chartbeat, and an investor in Chartbeat, and I love Chartbeat, and I've been using it since before I was an investor and an advisor. I begged them to let me invest in it because it's just an awesome program. And we've been talking about pricing and stuff like that. And I said, frankly, I want to pay you guys more money than $10 a month for this, because I would like to see you hire 2 or 3 more developers so that it grows quicker. And I don't think I'm alone. Why don't you email all the subscribers and say, or all the paid subscribers and say, would you like us to go faster? If we charge this amount, we would be able to go this much faster, and you get these features this much faster. Almost giving them a choice of what they want to pay and what they get for that in terms of development. I thought it was a pretty good idea.
Yeah. I had a conversation last night, if we're still waiting for Brent, the idea of for shops that or manufacturers that don't know what to charge, how to price whatever they're selling.
Yeah.
A platform where they could provide 10 for free, and it goes out, and then it's a game. It's like Price is Right, and you have to suggest what the price is or guess what the value should be at retail, and then they get a signal of, here's 50 best guesses on what this should have cost or whatever.
So if I went into a restaurant and they made me my lunch, they give me this beautiful Cobb salad, and they say, what would you pay? And I say, that's worth $12 to me. And they say, oh wow, we were going to charge 10.
Right.
You made $2 more.
Right.
You might actually be surprised.
Right. But it's also a benefit if you were thinking of charging too much. If you get it at the right place where you move more units.
It's guilt-based. It's guilt-based pricing.
I'm just saying. I think online Price is Right, where you give away
Yeah.
prizes.
I like it.
Yeah.
There's my wife explained to me there's a yoga studio here in Santa Monica where yoga started in the United States, from what I understand. And I asked her, well, how much is it to go? And they said, well, you pick. I said, well, how much do you pay? She goes, well, sometimes I have a 10 on me, sometimes I have a 20, sometimes I have 15. Whatever I got, I put in. I said, what does everybody else pay? Some people put $1 in, some people put 5 in. But, they're packed. There's a line out the door, and the last 10 people don't get in. So most people have the opposite problem.
Right.
There's not enough people. Okay.
There's NPR, if you take their word for it. I mean, there's quite a movement in that in terms of restaurants and everything else. You pay what you like.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that idea. Imagine you had a restaurant that's a family restaurant, and you say, "Hey, pay what you feel it was worth."
There's they found a few that do that.
It's not demand-based pricing; it's fairness-based pricing. I like it. Okay, Brent. You're calling from the 415, which I immediately recognize as San Francisco. Are you in fact in San Francisco?
I'm not. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay, next
Okay,
caller.
so you basically left the San Francisco to go to Charlotte. Not a bad place to go. You have a question for us? Let's hear it.
Yeah, my question is, so I'm a developer and UX guy, and I can usually crank out a basic version of a web app or mobile app in about a month or so. So my question is, should I work on multiple ideas and just get them to a basic kind of alpha version and put it out there and see if it catches on? Or and keep doing that with multiple apps? Or should I focus on one and try to make it more polished?
Okay.
The developer's dilemma.
Yeah, I mean, so some people have ADD and they do 5 projects to 60%. Other people have laser-like focus. They're like, I shouldn't be using all these psychological terms. I'm not qualified, I guess, with a BA in psychology. But other people have this Rain Man-like autism where they're just focused on one thing and they do it amazingly well. Both things can work, and it's really a matter of what you enjoy more and knowing who you are as a person.
Yeah.
Do you get bored when you're working on just one thing? Do you like to work on 5 things? Well, if so, then you should consider working for a web shop or an ad agency where you get to work on 5 different client projects per year, or be a consultant. You have a very sought after skill. Now, if you were to ask me what I would do with your skill set in today's market, that's a different question. You have one of the most marketable skills right now, which is your ability to make a mobile application. Right now, there are 1,000 idea guys watching the program saying, I need to get this guy.
Who is this guy?
Who
Yeah.
is this guy? I want to apply to Y Combinator with him. So what I would do if I was you is, I would get your ass back to San Francisco or get to Boulder for Techstars. What's that? You like
I'll
Boulder?
be there in February. I'm moving there. Yeah.
Oh, you're moving to Boulder. So what I would do is
No, San Francisco.
Oh, to San Francisco. Okay. So I would get involved in Hacker News, get involved in Y Combinator, and find the next and say I am available for a Y Combinator project as a co-founder for this class, and put a web page up and show what you're going to show, what you can do, show a couple of basic apps, right? You know, so people see that you're the real deal, and say I'm looking to be part of a team, and then you will get. And you email Paul Graham and tell them and show them some proof of concepts. You know, hey, listen, here's a couple of things I've built. And then you will get this incredible opportunity of maybe be able to join the next Airbnb or the next Bump or the next, you name it, Dropbox, whatever. So many opportunities for you there. So that's what, in this day and age, that's what I would be doing. I would go to angel investors and say, do you have any startups you're looking at? Like go to Naval, who runs AngelList, or email Chris Sacca or Kevin Rose or myself and say, hey, I'm a web developer. I would like to own a big chunk of equity. I want to be a founder. The way you will get affluent in life and the way you will find true happiness is by having founder equity. This is the most important thing. At some point,
I think that's what Buddha said, right?
That's what Buddha said, yes. Jesus, did you know who Jesus Christ is? Jesus said, on the 7th day.
Yeah.
This is the goddamn truth. All right. There are many.
The book of Jason.
This is the book
The
of Jason. A
Gospel
reading
according to
from the
Jason.
book of Jason, chapter 2, verse 1. Thy will getteth the founder's shares that are fully vested, and
that no man shall take away.
that no man shall take away, and that shall buy you a Tesla Roadster. Can I get an amen?
Hallelujah.
Amen, hallelujah. No, at some point in your career, the true happiness comes from being able to start your own company and be a founder, or be part of a founding team. You don't have to start it. And be part of a less than 10-person company and get some of that founder equity. You know, get your beak wet, as Lon would say. Rest in peace. And that's when you're going to be really, truly happy. Now, if you're young and you want to work for some people, that's good. It's a good way. Do it for 5 years. Do it for 10 years. But then at some point, I highly recommend you start something and you be part of something from the ground up, only because it's so fun. I mean, you've been here since the beginning of Mahalo to watch it grow. It's just so awesome to spend 4 years on some project like that.
Yep.
You'll never regret it.
Yes.
So even if it fails, you won't regret it because you were a part of something and you learned a lot. So seize the day, because your skill set, 10 years from now, maybe, knowing how to make a mobile app will be like knowing how to, set up a word processor or something. It may just be so easy that it won't be as unique a skill. So you got to capitalize on your skill when you have it. I know you didn't ask that question.
Your problem is kind of unique, or not unique, I'm sorry. And it varies from case to case, but why in your case is it that you're, going from project to project?
Yeah, why are you going from project?
Why start?
Yeah, I think it's happened because I've spent probably 8 months or so on 2 separate projects, and they didn't really turn out.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if instead of putting that much polish into it, if I can crank out something in a month and see if it sticks.
Yeah,
maybe I should do that.
Iterating and getting stuff out there in the market, that's the best thing you can do. So if you look at, there was a thing called AliCorps, which did Business Insider, a CDN, and a couple of other things. And one of the things they did was the Gilt Group. And Kevin Ryan, who started that, was one of the early, was a president of, and then CEO of DoubleClick. He told me, he's like, we did this incubator, and the best thing to come out of it was Gilt Group, and Gilt Group is now like a multi-billion-dollar business in terms of value. He focused all his energy on that. Evan Williams had Obvious Corporation. They did an ODO. They had some other ideas. Twitter came out of that. And so the key is to know when you strike gold to focus and double down. And once you've doubled down, triple down. When you triple down, you quadruple down. And it's like when you hit the nuts when you're playing poker. Like you're on the button. And you're on the button, everybody's limped in, and you've got 2-7, and you're like, screw it, I'm gonna go in for the $10 to see the flop, and the flop comes out 7-7 deuce or 7-7 ace, and then the turn comes out deuce, and now everybody's betting into you because everybody's got ace-7, and this guy's got ace-2, and you've got the nuts. Boom, you just take home everybody's money. The only person who understands that analogy is probably people who are into poker. But anyway, the point is, when you know you're gonna win, you've got to really focus on it and double and triple down. And you'll have that moment. So yeah, it's totally fine to put something out there in wireframe-ish. I mean, look at all the things that have worked with a lack of polish. eBay, Craigslist, Twitter, in fact. I mean, Twitter, the first design of Twitter looked like it was designed by, a 14-year-old. I mean, it was like...
you could do Twitter in a month.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not complicated, yeah.
Right. So the thing is to do something truly unique and something that people want. So
right. Maybe spend more time on that side of it.
Something unique.
Spend a little more time finding real solution to a real problem.
This is what you're really asking is like, how do I find an idea?
Here's my point: is you have the luxury of building something. A lot of people listening are like, "God, what a great problem to have." Their problem is they can't find someone to build these ideas,
and it costs them money to build it.
Right. So most people, like myself, for instance, not being that great at coding anything, I'll go out and I'll make double, triple damn sure that this is a real problem that these people really want, and I'll show it and I'll say, if this existed today, would you write me a check right now?
You'll be more thorough.
Oh, why? Of course I don't. I'm going to have to pay somebody to build this thing.
Right.
So I'm going to make sure I'm scratching
So in some way that's an asset for you, but it's also, you're not as freewheeling.
Right. So if you're, I just maybe get a little more desire based in it before,
Yeah, I mean, don't live in a bubble. I mean, that's the other thing you see sometimes technologists. They build something thinking this is what people want, but they never talk to people because sometimes programmers are not as social. There's a balance here.
Sometimes they just build things backwards based on the coolness of wanting to do something in
similar
some new API thing,
and that's creative too.
Cool. I mean, that's more creative than entrepreneur.
Basically, the fact that let me just give you the bottom line, Brett. The fact that you're a coder in mobile in 2011. Going into 2011, at your age, you look like you're about 25 years old, I'm guessing. How old are you?
26.
You're 26. You know how to code mobile apps, and you're going to be in San Francisco in 2011. I mean, you realize like you're in a better position than 99% of the people on the planet. You are going to go into a place where your skill set will get you a job anywhere. And so your job is to just make a good decision of how to put it to work and work with good people on building something that you are motivated by. And work with the best people you can find. That's the other advice I have for you. Find the best people. Ron Conway, great angel investor. Chris Sacca, great angel investor. Josh Schechter from Delicious has a new project that he's working on. Read the TechCrunches, read the, Mashables or whatever. Look for the things that look interesting. Path. And then you just go email the guy from Path and say, hey, I'm moving here. I used the application. I think I could be of use. Can you imagine sitting next to Dave Morin for a year? I mean, you'll turn into, maybe you turn into Dave Morin, et cetera. It's like getting to sit next to Zuckerberg or something.
What was rephrase your initial question, though? Brent?
Whether to spend 1 month developing a basic product or spend 8 months developing a more polished product, like multiple products.
Yeah.
I would say neither. I'd say spend 1 month talking with people and figuring out a real interesting thing to build.
Yeah, I would think
But that's a non-technical person's way of doing it.
Yeah, I think also working alone for somebody in your space, maybe not the best idea. Could get lonely. You don't have anybody to bounce ideas off of, nobody to debate stuff with. So it's very hard to find a co-founder. But because of the proliferation of Y Combinators and accelerators, and we just put a list of them last week up on the launch.is site of all the accelerators out there, I think that those programs are awesome for getting started. And so
you can mock up something and take it to people and say, "What do you think of this?"
Yeah, that's a
and
great way to
you
do
can
it
get
too.
your feedback without spending the month of doing the.
You got nothing to lose. I mean, what is his time worth?
I'm just
Hey.
26 years old. I mean, a month of his time.
True.
What's he going to do with it anyway? Play Call of Duty, get expert mode. Like get the how many badges in Call of Duty can Brett get?
coming from someone who plays more Plants and Zombies than.
I stopped Plants and Zombies.
Okay.
Why won't they come out
Bejeweled.
with
What level of Bejeweled do you want?
I stopped playing Bejeweled. I'm on Cut the Rope.
He
right
beats
now.
the game, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever. Good question, Brent. And where are you going to be February 23rd and 24th?
I just bought a ticket for the launch conference.
Excellent. Then I will send you complimentary this bag, which it's very hard to see here, but in a very subtle way. I'm going to try to tilt it for the light. Yeah, we're not going to be able to see it, but oh, there it is. They have the bag up on the screen. That's the This Week in Startups bag. You're the first one to receive one. And instead of like putting a dorky, like big orange This Week in Startups there, it's very subtle. Very subtle.
It's very cool.
It's just engraved there. And you're going to have the first, this is a big deal, the first This Week in Startups bag. And we're going to send that to you. And we'll probably put some other swag inside. So thank you. Thank you for calling in. And good luck. And I look forward to meeting you at the launch conference. Come by and say hello.
Thanks, I will.
Awesome. One other person I'd like to thank is DNA Mail. DNA Mail. Everybody loves DNA Mail. You can help your business succeed by moving your mail to the cloud. Get Google Apps or Microsoft Exchange. Host it on their email servers. Don't waste your time putting up your own servers. Focus on your own startup, your own business. It's free activation, free setup, free 24-hour support, 7 days a week, right here in Los Angeles from people that care. A 99.9% uptime guarantee. Guarantee. And they guaranteed because it's up. Don't let your business fail because of subpar communication. Sign up today and take advantage of their 30-day free trial. DNA Mail, DNA Mail. Everybody loves DNA Mail. I'm just constantly getting people thanking DNA Mail, using DNA Mail, and tweeting it. So if you're one of our, loyal fans, and you're using DNA Mail for your Exchange or your Google Apps, because they do both, and you've signed up for it, just thank them and say, hey, I'm a DNA customer, DNA Mail customer at DNA Mail, and let them know on Twitter, let them know on Facebook. They really appreciate hearing from you. And I really appreciate DNA Mail for supporting the program. They're my longest running supporter. I mean, UPA, these are the best guys. They really are quality company. And thank you to DNA Mail for supporting independent media like This Week in Startups. On the line with us, we have Sean. Sean, are you there?
Yeah. Hey, Jason.
Hey, how you doing? You're calling from the 424. Where is that?
Well, I'm actually in Los Angeles, California.
Oh, Los Angeles, California. Whereabouts in Los Angeles?
Right next to Culver City.
Oh, okay. So you're down the block from us in the studio, Culver City. Very nice. A lot of good restaurants. What's your question?
Okay, so small intro first. I'm a first-time entrepreneur, but I'm really deep into the startup space, and so I've been getting lots of startup ideas. I want to try them out. So I've been focusing on getting like a stream of income first. And right now, I'm selling software. It's been getting me some significant income, and the software essentially undetects any file from all the antiviruses, and bypasses all the antiviruses. So but I want to scale it up because I know for sure that it can scale. I want to make it a solid company, maybe, and have an actual team of developers.
Yeah.
And I want to sell the software, but I'm unsure about the legal ramifications.
So tell me again what the software does.
Okay, so the software undetects any file from all the antiviruses. It can be used for it's kind of like similar to WebSpy. I guess people can use it for for the good or the bad. It can be used for securing files. Maybe it can be used to aid security professionals or pen testers.
So it lets you hide a file from an antivirus program.
Yeah, it's basically encryption software that makes any file undetectable from antiviruses.
And you would want to use this, why?
Well, okay, security professionals, there's penetration testers, these kind of security professionals, they use tons of utilities like this. It can be used for that mainly. When so a security professional, penetration testing is basically they test networks, they go in, they have all these different exploits utilities that security professionals use and stuff like this. Or I guess people can use it to protect their files too.
To hide their files in case their laptops were stolen or something like that?
No, it's so, well, I don't know about, okay, I guess the main idea behind it is to be used for security professionals and penetration testers. Because, so yeah.
So I'm a security professional, I put this on a machine, and then the antivirus software has no idea that this program is running or there.
Exactly.
So you figured out a way to fool the antivirus software, which to me seems pretty sinister. But there might, you're saying, be legal uses of this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure because there's a lot of different tools and utilities that security professionals use that are similar to this. I mean, probably a lot worse.
Yeah.
So I mean, this kind of software, it has a lot of demand. I've been getting a lot of sales from it. And but the thing is, the only real question I'm unsure about is so the legal ramifications of doing it, plus also if it becomes big enough for the antiviruses to take note of it.
Yeah.
I mean, they might take note of it, and so I'm unsure about if that would cause any conflicts or issues would be raised because of that. So
here's the situation you're in. You are obviously very talented to think of if you've in fact created this piece of software. Let's assume you have created something very unique because people are paying for it. But it is not your by definition, if you're young and you're smart, this is not your best idea ever. It's one of your ideas. And so you have many more good ideas to come. And what you need to do is learn the business side of it. So it might be good for you to have a collaborator who's seen this movie before, either as a mentor or maybe a partner in the business or an investor in the business. So I would seek out some mentorship. Do you have mentors in the security industry who've built security software before? And what are they advising you?
Yeah, so right now I only have one person working with me, which is a programmer, but he has a lot of connections with pretty much the government in Cuba. He works for there. I think he makes software for their hackers, and he also has a lot of friends that work for big corporations, and also a friend that works for an antivirus company called Kaspersky.
What is your goal? A short-term, mid-term life goal? Is it to be rich? Is it to be successful? Is it to be well known? Is it to produce great stuff? What do you want to accomplish? Have you thought about that?
Okay, yeah. With this, like I said, I mean, I have tons of ideas for startups that I want to pursue and get into. I want to create something for people to use, just to get out there. And so what this is basically, I find it brings me income right now.
Right.
A lot of good income capital that I could use to actually try out these other startup ideas.
Good.
So that's the only reason why this is pretty much what I'm doing.
So if you're able to make money from this and it's completely legal and you're not getting yourself in any trouble, there's nothing wrong with that, and then finding other ideas, I think it would be good for you to collaborate with some other people so you're not working in a vacuum. And maybe get some mentorship from people who have been in the security industry for a while and can help you learn the business side of it. I would start thinking about ways. It's great that you're helping security professionals, and that could be a very valid business, and that business could make a lot of money. But I think there's a unique opportunity at this moment in time to protect individuals and to do things in their best interest and to help them through things like the disconnect. You know, Facebook Disconnect, the guy who was at Google, he just left. He created Facebook Disconnect, which was a Google Chrome extension that removes all the Facebook spyware, basically, if you could call it that tracks you all over the internet, whether you like it or not. You go to a site like TechCrunch, they got the Facebook box there. Now the Facebook knows, that you were there. At least they know your IP address is there, and they may know more if you're already logged in. So there are opportunities like that that I think are going to be perhaps bigger. Yeah, I mean, if it's a great way to make money, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't get yourself into anything that is gray. Don't get into anything that would get you in trouble, because something has changed about hacking between when I was a kid and I was doing phone phreaking and light hacking in the 80s and now, which is you will go to jail. You will get a significantly stiff sentence, and they will make an example out of you, even if you don't do any harm. And there's a lot of hackers out there who think, oh, I just broke in there, but I didn't do anything, or I had access to these PayPal, but things, but I didn't take any money. It doesn't matter. They're looking. Our government is looking to make examples of hackers. They want to string them up, and they want to put them in jail for as long as possible, because if you're a hacker in the United States, they just assume that you're associated with the Chinese government, the Russian mafia, this mafia, that mafia, stealing identity. So just please do not get pulled into that contingent, which I know that if you're building what you're building is right next door to you. And you must know some of these people, and you must see them in IRC, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, these people are going to be all around you, and there's a lot of temptation. You cannot go anywhere near that, because you've got a very promising future, because you obviously know how to code and do a lot of great things in security. So I think you got to make sure you're not in that gray area. It feels to me right now you got a gray hat on. Try to get more towards the white side.
Yeah, I'm really the big ideas that I have. I really want to go for like creating video for small businesses. These other niches that really have more appeal to me, I like a lot more. This is really just something that has been getting a lot of significant income that can actually fund this stuff, and maybe even just have another side stream.
Yeah, hey, listen, if like I said, if you're not getting too close to the gray, and you're keeping your nose clean and that kind of stuff, great. But don't, whatever you do, because I know a lot of guys get tempted to see if they could open certain doors. Don't start trying to open doors you're not supposed to open. I got a lot of first-hand experience of this, and I know of what I speak. But I know a lot of people in the security space, so maybe come over for a cup of coffee at some point. And on February 23rd and 24th, Sean, if you want to come to the launch conference, you'll be my guest. You get to meet a bunch of people. Are you available?
Of course.
Okay, great. And I'm gonna give you one of these brand new This Week in Startups bags as well. Okay.
Sweet, man. All right, thanks.
All right, you can come by and pick it up. We'll have a cup of coffee. Great meeting you, Sean, and good luck with everything.
Thanks, Jason.
Cheers
right,
now. I mean, there's a lot of great programmers and developers out there who start in hacking, security, and it's really a shame in this country that, our legal system can't differentiate, hackers from people who steal people's identity, or, the Chinese hackers who are trying to break into corporate sites for, very bad reasons, or trying to shut down the internet. And, it's a dragnet. And if you get yourself caught up in this, they just basically treat everybody the same. Maximum penalty, maximum time in jail, no discussion. Your motives, why you did it, what you did after you broke in, doesn't matter. You have to look at it the same way. If you break into a bank's vault and you take $1 million, and you break into a bank's vault and you take no dollars, you still broke into a bank's vault. That's how they consider it. And I think the problem is some of these young people in hacking think, I'm not going to get caught. It's very easy to get caught. People find your IP address and think, oh, well, I'm so smart, I can route this IP address. Yeah, then somebody drops a dime on you. Please, if you're out there and you're doing any kind of hacking, life is so good, and there's so many opportunities for you. Don't go this route. Because I have a personal friend who, got 5 years, John, and I basically now trade emails with him. He's going to get out a little early, but he's going to have spent 2 years in jail. It bums me out tremendously. I just hate when I hear about it with, kids are, hey, I'm not saying he was doing that, but he's obviously in an area where when you start explaining, like, this is, lets you hide from spyware, it's like, well, if somebody can use that to hide from the spyware, okay, now we're in this sort of cloaking area, and cloaking from the good guys, it's like people putting key capture software in cafes and stuff like that, people thought, oh, that's pretty funny. I'll put a key capture in a cafe and I'll collect
Right.
a bunch of stuff and see what happens, and I'll go back later to pick it up. You know what? You go back later to pick it up, they get you on camera, and then you go to jail. You go, wow, I was just trying to see if it would work. But guess what? It did work.
Yeah.
You're going to jail now. And that happens all over the place. People are getting arrested for this kind of stuff. And people think it's just because you can do it easily and the software you can buy on the internet for it
Right.
does not mean that it's legal. It's like the other week when we were talking about those people with the consulting firm that put, you know,
The info.
the information,
Info pimps.
the info pimps selling, you know, the person who handles distribution and ordering and procurement at, you know, this
AMD,
technology,
yeah.
AMD or whatever technology company, for example, you know, a made-up example with, you know, somebody who runs a hedge fund that buys the stock. And they're like, oh, wow, you're ordering a lot more,
Right.
you know, chips.
Shipments are up, yeah.
Shipments are up. Oh, wow. You know, it's like it's one thing if you look and you see, wow, there's more containers coming into Long Beach. It's another
Right.
thing if you call Cisco's guy and pay him to tell you how many of those carts belong to Cisco. So don't do anything that would get you in trouble, kids. Do not try this at home.
Makes you wonder if the delivery services guys put little bets on the side.
That's a good question. Like if you were a UPS guy in 99, whatever, 2000, 2001, you start seeing Zappos boxes everywhere.
Right.
You start seeing the number of Amazon boxes go up. You buy the stock, you probably would have done well. But that's publicly available information, I think. Or is it?
The number of shipments? No.
Not
No,
really.
no.
No. That would be, but it's not their insider information. I wonder how that would, we should ask a lawyer. If you knew through some secondary measure that there were the number of, let's say you just had the information on the number of shipments out of the Amazon warehouse. If I know the number of shipments out of the Amazon warehouse because I'm a UPS guy, can I trade on that information?
If that's your daily route, you know business is up or down. You know?
Yeah, but what if I'm the account manager
Right.
and I just see they went from spending $10,000 a day on shipping to
Right.
$15,000 a day? That's
Right.
a 50% increase,
You have no
but their
time-
stock price
yeah.
has only gone up 2%.
Right. The quarter
Interesting.
report's coming next week. Yeah.
What if I am selling something to Amazon and they keep ordering more from me? So I sell pens and I see Amazon all of a sudden, it's like, oh wow, their pen orders have tripled.
That doesn't mean their Amazon's overall revenues are up. So.
Right. So I guess there would be some thing there. But that's interesting. It's sort of like it's not the company's information, it's just information that exists, other signals.
Auxiliary signals, yeah.
It's the auxiliary single issue. If you have a startup question for myself and Tyler, or you want to be on the Shark Tank, you got to be brave to be on that. Just email askjason@thisweekend.com. That's askjason, one word, @thisweekend.com. Thank you to @DNAMail. Thank you to MailChimp, @MailChimp. Wow, and thanks a lot for making This Week in Startups possible. I really appreciate it. I couldn't do it without you guys. And be sure to follow us on Twitter, TWI Startups, @TWI Startups. And go subscribe on the YouTube channel. It's doing awesome. YouTube.com/thisweekend. You see all our shows. Subscribe to as many as you like. Or you can go directly to our show, YouTube.com/TWI Startups. That's in This Weekend Startups. I hope to see you all at the launch conference on February 23rd and 24th. And I will see you in the new year. Take care, everybody.
That's what it's all about, man. They said money is the root of all evil. What? Funny how it feeds my people. Yeah. We ain't gonna live like equals until we get the money, spend the money, and defeat you. Yeah. Money is the root of all evil. What? Funny how it feeds my people. Yeah. We ain't gonna live like equals until we get the money, spend the money, and defeat you.